This video covers the last couple of days of Amy and my trip to Seabrook Island in South Carolina, and also a kayak trip in Congaree National Monument. Here's Seabrook Island. Edisto River comes in on the left, which is where we stayed. Kiawah Island is off to the right. And we walked almost every day to Privateer Point, which is in the distance in this photo. Here's a couple of photos and then a video of our walk on Friday. First a butterfly along the walk, and then a dolphin. And we saw numerous dolphin feeding in the Edisto River estuary as we walked. That was a dolphin fishing, not far from Privateer Point. Privateer Point down there.
It's swimming over to the right now.
And the condo's back there. And this was our lunch spot, sitting on those branches right there, which are the roots of the pine tree that have no sand under them because it's washed away over time. On the beach going down to Privateer Point. On Friday afternoon, we took our bikes, rental bikes, over to Kiawah Island and Beachwalker Park, which is a public park, and rode this boardwalk and trail over to the beach, and did much of the beach of Kiawah Island and then back on the bike trails shown here. This is a GPS track of our route, starting on the left side, going up along the beach, and then back inland. Hello, doing a video of you bicycling on Kiawah Beach. And there's Kiawah, stretching about 10 miles. Huge beach from Beachwalker Park. Way down there is the north end, I guess, or east end of Kiawah. Mostly undeveloped, all undeveloped down there, and then there's a golf course, and then the buildings start. It's the Sanctuary Hotel, sunlight there, $500, $600 a night up and up. And then houses. Friday night, we had another great sunset, of which we'd had several already. For dinner, we had our first takeout meal we'd cooked up until then from a place in Freshfields. Pizza with big strips of eggplant. On Saturday, Amy and I bicycled over to the Pelican Watch restaurant for lunch. Great location right on a point overlooking the ocean and outdoor seating. And Amy had great fish tacos, not so good vegetarian. I ended up with a salad. And we also got to watch the shrimp boats offshore, which we'd seen lots of. In the early afternoon, we did a short hike on the Six Ladies Nature Trail, interestingly named. Goes across some dunes, through a forest, and down to a tributary of Captain Sam's Creek. Lots of Spanish moss. We're at the end of the Six Ladies Trail, a short quarter of a mile or so trail that ends on a marsh. And only Six Ladies would have done this. At the end, they have a table with 4 chairs or whatever. More Spanish moss on the Six Ladies Trail. After the hike, we went over to the beach on Seabrook Island and walked to the east or north end, mainly to see the dolphin, the bottlenose dolphin that frequent the Kiawah River as it comes into the ocean between Seabrook and Kiawah. We're at the eastern end of Seabrook Island. Lots of birds, lots of sandbars. And right up there is the Kiawah River. That's Kiawah Island on the other side. Captain Sam's River comes in just this side of those houses Amy's walking toward. And we kayak down to the river and then out to, it's getting, tide is coming in, so the sandbars are covered up, but that's nothing but sandbars out there at low tide where we kayaked to it and then walked, and then we also walked up to this area the first day I think we're here, and then looking back. There is Seabrook Island. And overhead, lots of pelicans fishing. Just like down in the water, the dolphins are fishing. And as I mentioned, down in the water, the dolphin are fishing. The bottlenose dolphin, and they're actually doing what they call strand fishing. This is one of the very few places in the world that you can see it on the Kiawah River where it flows into the ocean, and the Edisto River on both sides of Seabrook. Basically, the bottlenose dolphin, several of them will force the fish toward the beach and then actually up onto the sand, and then the dolphins will jump up on the sand or leap on the sand more or less and catch the fish. And I was lucky. It's really unusual to get a video, I'm sure, of doing this, but I was lucky to get a video right there. You see that, Amy? I got that on film. He really did.
Yes.
And here's a still photo taken from that video showing the dolphin actually catching the fish. We spent Saturday night just south of Columbia, and then on Sunday morning drove over to the fairly new Congaree National Park. Used to be a national monument. And here Amy is helping me carry our kayak down to the put-in, which is on Cedar Creek. Our start was at the top left on this map of the park. And we went about 2.5 miles down the creek and then turned around and paddled back. Well, this is Cedar Creek, Congaree National Park. It's a bridge across the creek and a trail. And the canoe trail goes up and downstream. And to put in, there's some people right there taking out. There's our white inflatable. And the put in is a terrible place right there, or over there, or a really muddy place right over there. There's mud everywhere. But the put in is terrible. The takeout is terrible. But creek is beautiful, as you can see, with all those cypress trees down there. A few mosquitoes, but not bad. Here's a still photo that shows the beauty of the creek with the cypress and the swamp creek. And paddling along the creek, we did see some wildlife. Here, a great barred owl that's kind of right in the middle of the picture. And we saw a fair number of turtles in the creek and some other wildlife. We're paddling, kayaking on the Congaree, in the Congaree National Park on Cedar Creek. We're down about 5 miles downstream from the put-in on Cedar Road, I think it is. And Amy's doing the paddling, or was doing the paddling right now. We went down about 2.5 miles, came back a ways, had lunch. And I had to get off again and adjust my seat because it's air had gone out of the back of it, and it happened again, so something's wrong with it. But anyway, incredible place with cypress trees everywhere, cypress knees right there. And wildlife. We've seen only an opossum and squirrels as far as mammals. Seen some guys that walked in and fishing. And a snake, maybe a water moccasin on a tree, and a big, was it a barred owl? Great barred owl, and also a kingfisher. So we've seen a fair amount and some pileated woodpeckers we've heard. It's a really a wonderland wildlife-wise and tree-wise. Some of the biggest trees in South Carolina and the country there, actually. We're getting close to the takeout. There's some really nice cypress leaves. And then up there, the creek turns to the left, and put in's not too far, 1/4 mile or so. After the Congaree National Park, we pretty much drove straight back to Knoxville, but with a stop at one of our favorite restaurants in Nashville, the 9 Mile Cafe, which has really good vegetarian and seafood with a Caribbean flavor food. We got takeout and ate in a nearby park.